Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for your patience as we are now here in our potentially final game of the evening between our Zerg in the upper right, known as Unrelenting Blinkstalkers, aka, well, that's his clan tag, Lior Sakya, and in the upper left-hand corner, our blue Protoss known as Anza Kongshu the Wangchuan. I have no clue what this... Like, a lot of StarCraft 2 names on the China server are poetic in nature. But yeah. So now we're back and our mod... Well, I mean, mod. How mod you are, right? I'm kidding. Rather, our production tab is working again. Going for that third base as opposed to the natural. And I see nothing wrong with that. But the most annoying thing is seeing whenever your Protoss opponent is going to cancel that pylon at the last moment. It really is. I can't say it in any other way. Forge Fast Expo coming from our Protoss, as you can see. And now things are looking somewhat ordinary from this. This is actually something that I remember from the Wings of Liberty days. Some players just altogether used to completely ignore putting a hatchery at the natural and would just straight up go for the third base, and that was not the case here, in case you guys were not paying attention a moment ago. This was actually how do I say this? This was actually the pylon block at the natural, and then we saw a skip to the third to drop a hatch. Assimilator at the main. Forge Fast Expo. I'm not sure who represents which team in this position, to be perfectly honest with you. Wait. Oh, wait. Lior. God, he was one of the Zerg players playing just now, so that means he's representing our underdog team, TouHou Project, or what you can imagine is the underdog team, the TouHou Project. For the moment, it seems as though... I'm not entirely sure about why this is, but... I guess these Lings are hunting for a probe, but I mean, he knows where his opponent's position is, so why is he sending them off in this direction? It's a little bit confusing, mesmerizing to me, but yeah. Here we go. Oversaturated natural, or main rather. You pull those drones to the natural once it's done, I imagine, and just wait a little bit longer and that'll be done. Here we are. Cybernetics core finished. We're waiting to see the tech up, and there it is. It's going to be a Stargate. Ling's going to greet the cannon at the front door, but of course, at this moment, our Zerg is rather unaware of the situation at hand. I would be somewhat worried in this position. In some ways, I think. In some matchups, rather. Okay, one Ling. Let's get back to what's happening in front of our eyes. One Ling and one Zealot can handle excuse me. One Ling and one Queen can handle a Zealot. One Drone and one Queen can handle a Zealot. But 1 versus 1, a Queen can never take down a Zealot alone, unless maybe it's being godlike kited. I've never actually tried that before, but yeah. Off creep, it doesn't work though. It does not. So, Spore Crawler at the natural and the main, and I think this is where Lior Sakya is just gonna look at this and say, alright, I'm gonna wing it. And I can admire this choice because with tier 2 tech, this is good against two things. One is the Dark Shrine, and 2 is the Stargate. Now, given the Dark Shrine would come in a little bit later, the Stargate itself, I mean, how do I put this? Like, this would actually help defend against Oracles directly assaulting you. But here we go. First one arrives. Gets one drone. And that Oracle did not pay for itself. We do have a second one and a third one on the way. Well, here we are. I mean, at this point, we have our Protoss in just a little bit of a rut. And that is our Zoo Protoss, I might add. I'm not sure who this could be, really. Alright. Oh man, wait, what? Oh my god. Oh my god, this cheese. This looks like something Courage would do if he actually played Protoss, but oh my god, is he really... I hate playing against this. As a Zerg player, I hate playing against this. Oh my god, and I just ruined it. I really did. Oh boy. Well, he catches onto it. He catches onto it a little bit late, but there's 2 Spore Crawlers ready to go in the main, 2 in the natural, 2 in the third. But that is a lot of Ling streaming through, and now seeing an interesting game unfolding before our very own eyes. Here we go. This is Kongshu. Oh, forget it. Okay, well, Nexus Cannon's going down at the natural. These Oracles are going to come back and clean up the roaches in the main, and now we've got the roaches headed straight for the mineral line in the main. They will, of course, be stopped short by a couple of Stalkers and nothing but Hydras, or excuse me, nothing but Oracles from there. That's 6 Oracles here at this location altogether. The best remedy to combat this, I imagine, would be getting as many Queens out as coupling some static defenses with it. That way you're just throwing minerals at the issue. Switching to Aspire may not yield that great of results. Why? Because, of course, well, double Stargate, double Phoenix production. I think that kind of goes without saying. Altogether now we have 9 Oracles out on the map. 1 more in production, and that'll make 10 altogether. 9 Oracles striking 1 Queen should be able to take this down, but as it is in this present position, our Protoss has a massive lead, and I don't think this is a game that Team Zoo can lose. But wait a minute, just as I say that, there's a mass recall. We have a misread into the situation. Oh my god, the Ling run by brilliant! That's more brilliant than a pint of Guinness, I say! Look at that. They're tearing up that mineral line. They are punishing our Protoss at this very moment. 11 Hydras on the way. They're just about to pop. Many of them at the natural, but it's going to be very difficult to make them effective versus all of these Oracles because they have damage buffs against light units. If they are given a chance to group up, it will be a completely different story. And it looks like they may just get that opportunity. That was the move. That Ling run by just put Lior Sakya back into the game. And now Wang Chuan. I'm going to try and check out who this is. Let's see. I'm looking at the Zenith of Origin roster. They've got... Am I looking at this right? No. What the... I'm so damn confused right now. Neither of these players are on either of the rosters. There's no Protosses on the Zenith of Origin roster. There's a lot of Zergs. There's no Protosses. Well, there's a lot of Protosses on our... Okay, so maybe I got this mixed up. Oh, that's right. Okay. Last matchup was actually Zerg losing. So that means Protoss won, and Protoss in that match was the TouHou project. So Protoss here is actually the TouHou project representative. I apologize. Okay. So confusing when they're not actually using their official clan tag names, if you will. But now this looks like, you know, if we see this continue coming from our blue Protoss, it's not going to carry him through the game. Obviously. So the question is, what does he do now? I mean, maybe he can couple all these Oracles with a bunch of Zealots on the ground, and that'll do something against this. But there's a few Roaches to tank against this. There's Queens for transfuses for those Roaches, because the Oracles get no damage buffs against Roaches. He can see the entire army as he pleases right now. Maybe he can do something about this if his opponent makes one massive blunder. Now I guess all we need is time, really. Robo going down. This is going to take a long time to get Colossus out onto the battlefield. It really is. No! Oh my god, he's just doing it. He's nuking the base. He's nuking the base. This is mass Protoss mutas, if you will. Oh my god. He's not even turning back. He's like, okay, well, I've come too far. I'm not turning back. And those upgrades are non-existent for our Protoss. He's got no AoE for this entire army. Now the Oracles are coming back home to help with defense. And the question is, what can they do? Oh no, they fly straight into all of this. They're going ham on those Hydras. They are being coupled with the army on the ground. And it looks like this might be defensible, but as I say that, the Roaches are prevailing on the ground against all the Gateway units, and it's Oracles against Roaches. This might just be what he needed. We're about to find out. It's moments where we find out do or die. Do or die, and it looks like it's die for the Roaches and do for the Oracles. This game has already gone crazy. Alright. So, to compensate for that, we've already seen that Lior Sakya in the background has gone ahead and dropped a 4th base. How many workers were killed? That's a lot from both sides right now. It really is. It really is. But at this point... Oh boy, the Roach is coming back. I think this many Gateway units should be able to handle it. But they're focus firing the probes. And they get about 4 for their time. So, not too bad of an exchange given the situation at hand, but... I mean, that gives our Zerg a slight lead. An oh so slight lead. That's a lot of Hydras at this location. +2 attacks are coming in now. Missile attacks, I might add. If we see Roaches coupled with this, more and more Roaches, well, you know, it's even hard to say because typically the Oracles take down everything on the ground. That's what we've seen from the most previous engagement. Alright. Lots of drones on the way in the background. Twilight Council coming down. I think this is going to be DPS nuke. AoE DPS nuke composition, if you will. And that is Colossus High Templar coupling whatever comes out of Gateway units. Or comes out of whatever's with these Gateway units. Alright, so the question is, what now? Both sides are continuing to crank out their food count, and I don't see why there's a Dark Shrine coming down at this moment because there's nothing but Spore Crawlers at every single base, but nonetheless we have that coming from our TouHou project player. This guy is like Haz of China. Let's put it that way. Lior is Tudouming? Wow, I had no clue. Thank you for the knowledge bomb, Tequila Karis. Oh boy. Zealot run by makes nothing happen here. Only one Hydra will fall, and that's not quite with the time of our Protoss player. Oh, straight up engagement. That might just be the way he wants it. There's no Spire, and this is the beautiful timing to hit with Colossus. If we see this game end in favor of our Protoss, then that means we are going to see one more game afterwards. Instead, we see the mass recall. That was... excuse me if I'm reading this wrong, but pressing forward was the right move, correct? I mean, the only disadvantage I saw visible for our Protoss was, of course, upgrades, but an attack up, well, oh boy, big time attack upgrades. Of course, the Forge was taken down earlier in that assault, which meant, what is it that I'm looking for? He couldn't finish his +1 attacks. Let's put it that way. There we go. More Stalkers warping in. And those are +2 missile attacks. Roaches and Hydras. They've been taken down. I'm curious though. Does he know? He doesn't know about that foot base, does he? Okay. Well, more and more units under attack, and I like this move coming from our Blue Protoss. Just being sneaky with his DTs and his other units here. Ah, he's gonna pick off this base. Yeah, there's no saving it without detection. And there is none at that location. Those are a bunch of full HP oracles. They can actually pick off bases, and they are waiting for that opportunity. Sakya, aka Tudouming, does know this for a fact. So he's not trying to be risky or anything like that. He's gonna try and... He's just revealing these for the time being. That is to say, our blue Protoss is. And now oracles are in the mix. That means these guys are finally gonna be shooed away. Tudouming just says, hey man, I'm already sick of these things. Stop making it happen. He does have vision of this, however. He knows what's going on. Does he have enough anti-air? Not without upgrades. Not without upgrades. No, my friend. He does not have enough anti-air. He's going to need Void Rays. He's just now getting them into the mix, and it's going to be very difficult to make this work. Well, pylons are going down to try and make full walls. Meanwhile, the Corruptors are going ham on the Colossi in the sky. The Oracles are doing what they can against all of the Hydras on the ground. There are far too many Corruptors here. That means we see most of the Colossus fall except for the hallucinations. Actually, about half. All the gateway units are back to deal with this. This has been one hell of a set of mind games. But let me tell you, our TouHou project Protoss representative is not doing too terribly bad right here. Overseers get to the party a little bit too late. No 5th base for our Protoss, or Zerg rather. And that means... How do I say this? That means his economy is pretty much stunted at this stage in the game. Yeah, he's supposed to be making a lot of money, but I think even his 3rd base should be going dry right now. Actually, that's because it was taken as his natural, and his natural is actually going dry as well. That 5th base being shut down. And now we've got our Protoss saying, I'm not afraid to take a stand. Everybody! Just get blasted, and now there it is. The Corruptors coming back, and the nice offensive blink to ward them off. Oh man, the Oracles. Oh, the Oracles. Oh man, they gave him such a strong start. They really did. But without those in the fight, I mean, Hydras already do an insurmountable amount of DPS as it is right now, but yeah. Here we go. Archon's having trouble getting to the front lines. Offensive blink forward. Those Colossus are going to fall very shortly. Nice time warp on top of this army. The Oracles are coming in the background, dealing so much damage to the Hydras on the ground. And it looks like the Corruptors are going to pull back and try and snipe one or two of those Oracles for the time being, but that's it. I don't think they got one at that, but nearly got one. These guys have been around for a long, long time, doing lots and lots of damage. And now we can see, basically, this is a mid-game has, if you will. Our player here from TouHou Project. Oh man, look at this. Well, what I mean by that is Has typically plays against Terran, and we all know how he plays against Terran. He likes to contain his Terran opponent. He likes to keep his opponent on 1, not more than 2 base, and then smash him to death, even with hard counter units. Like, just, how do I say this? Blasting things with his head. But he does this in a very rigid mid-game style way by using DTs and everything else in between, keeping his opponent from taking more expos. Are drones being pulled along for the fight here by mistake? Or are they having difficulty finding a place that they can mine from? I think the latter of the two seems to be a more appropriate assessment. As you can see, the natural's gone dry. Our Protoss has not allowed our Zerg to take another expo. Our Zerg is up by a considerable amount of food. Now we're just waiting for that engagement to happen. There it is. The Archons once again having difficulty getting to the front lines. The force fields here are beautiful. Colossus are now being made with this army, and there's Psystorm coming down with it as well. Making things even better is the fact, the very, very essence that our Zerg player has not made Vipers. So that means High Templars can be used for their Storm. More so than anything else in this game. Just waiting for that moment. That's all we're waiting for. Right? That's what our Protoss says. Alt tabbing real quick just to check and see if I can do source on my Google Chrome. I want to make sure I'm capable of 60 frames per second. Everyone wants to make sure they're capable of that, right? I'm sure that's what everybody wants at the end of the day. Twitch looks like it might have had some improvements over the past few weeks in Taiwan. Zealot's just ignoring everything else here so they can get the gas off of these mineral lines, but it looks like these Hydras might be able to shut that down. This pulls back the entire main army. That queen will barely be alive with 9 HP. There it is. Zerg once again moving out. If that is Tudouming, he is putting up one hell of a fight. This is now a 30-minute long game. And that clan tag actually says, for our Protoss, it just says, I just want to smile. I just want to laugh. That's all. It says, I just want to laugh. That's it. Tudouming now going for the natural. Little Ming going for his fight. He wants to cancel that +3 attack upgrade that's on its way. It looks like he will succeed to that regards. And our Protoss is very reluctant to take a direct head-on engagement. Meanwhile, we have a 5th base finally being established in the background. The storms are absolutely beautiful. The Corruptors are slamming the hammer on all the Void Rays and Colossus. It looks like our Protoss may have waited just a little bit too late. But speaking of, there's a huge mispositioning play coming from our Zerg. There's still one Colossus alive. That one beautiful laser mop that is cleaning up all of this Zerg and doing a damn good job of it. In the background, massive plays happening with a massive warp in from a tiny warp prism. It looks like now our Protoss will win this fight head on, if even just barely, and then clean up everything else from there on out. Every queen that falls from this moment forward, every piece of tech that falls, now that the lair is out of the game, it's ultra important. We can't see the lair replaced right now. We can't see a Roachworn built right now if that goes down either. There we go. Oh, I don't think Protoss knows how good his position is right now. I really don't. But at the same time, we did see Tudouming rather, go ahead and take his 5th base. That means his income's gonna shoot back up. This is mind-numbing to both players right now. They're just playing mechanically. They're playing like robots at this point. They're just using their hands. They're not using their heads. They know the rules of the game. They know when they can engage. They know when they can't. Now, in the background, we do see another run by. All the static defenses were taken care of, but it looks like, yeah, that's some sick micro. Pretty decent micro coming from Tudouming here. Tudouming, rather. Apologies for that misclick, but it's been cleaned up. Drone's gonna go back to work. Nice big warp in here at the 5th base. They're just gonna focus down those static defenses. Maybe we're gonna see something in the background, maybe a warp in to take down what's happening at this base. In fact, Tudouming responds by sending a bunch of roaches and hydras to that exact location. There's nothing to deal with these zealots here just yet. They're on hold position. Oh, no, rather they're gonna take this down. The Spore Crawler, so that they can get some DTs over here. Again, big warp in the main. There's nothing to kill here. There's nothing to kill here. Why would you think there's something to kill here? That's how mind-numbing they're playing right now. They're just using their hands, not their minds. Oh, boy. Even I'm getting just a little bit numb from casting this. Both players going strong at this stage in the game, maintaining, you know, that 60 worker count. That is oh so standard. And the beat goes on. And the beat goes on. Main army's gonna go for the 4th base at this location, but it's nearly main dry anyway. It's nearly main dry anyway. I don't know what good it's gonna do. Drones getting picked off here is very valuable. That'll help out a lot in the larger, grander scheme of things. There we go. It looks like we might have... There we go. Big plays, big plays. If this base goes down, that's going to force an all-in scenario from our Zerg. Our Protoss is already ahead in the way of income. It's very transparent. 1,500 versus 800. That base is being eaten alive in the way of workers, and income plummets immediately. This could be the very beginning of the end, ladies and gentlemen. 1 DT will warp in at this location, and once again, +3 attacks is canceled. Main army against main army. This is a fight that we can see our Protoss afford to take. And why is that? Because he has his income. A lot of delayed mining time here at the 5th base. Where on earth are those drones? There were many of them just a moment ago, but they're all gone. And now the fight going head on against Tudouming. It's 100 supply to 100. The upgrades are even for both sides, except our Zerg does have carapace. He spreads as best he can. He throws down double time warp, that is to say, coming from our blue Protoss. Storms on top of this offensive blink forward. Still more storms remain, and they prevent both the retreat and the reinforcement. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're just moments away from declaring the victor of our game. It is not going to be Xiao Ming. It's not going to be Little Ming. Instead, this time around, it is now our underdog Protoss after a very long 38-minute struggle. We have a winner, and I can catch my breath. So guys, I'm going to give you guys some beautiful music to listen to. I'm going to